Hello, friends. My name is Abhay Kumar, and today a very special guest from Bombay is joining us to talk about Uniform Civil Code and the controversy related to it. You know it very well that Flavia Agnes is well known uh, advocate, activist, writer, and she has all through her life written and fought for the rights of the women. So she has done a lot of study on personal laws, on family laws, laws related to women, or if I'm allowed to summarize the positions of Flavia Agnes, she has underscored inequality, which is coded in law. Madam, the first question Law Commission has recently asked people of India, all party, all stakeholders, to send their views about Uniform Civil Code. And we are also aware of this fact that not long back, 3 4 years back, the Law Commission itself has published a report where it has said that this Uniform Civil Code is not needed, it is not necessary, and in its report, the Law Commission has said that inequality, discrimination is more important than bringing about uniformity. So, in this country, when there are hundreds of problems, more important problem than bringing about uniform civil code, at this moment, if the Law Commission is talking about uniform civil code and it has given an occasion for media to start talking about issues related to how the population of Muslims is increasing, and again uh, fuel has been added to the so-called Hindu Muslims question. So is it related to somehow elections, or is it related to the political requirements of the ruling classes? What is your view, the person, the scholar who has seen, who has written, who has studied for so many years, so many decades?
I agree with you. I agree with your suggestion that maybe it is political. I'm saying this because this present Law Commission, 22nd Law Commission, has been appointed very recently. And it's got a very short term because it was not appointed when it was supposed to be appointed. So, and now they sent up these opinions. How do they plan to refute the arguments of the 21st Law Commission, and then in this short span, think of the UCC? It is impossible to do that. But according to me, the whole idea is to bring it in the political controversy arena and in the context of the elections that are coming. So that, according to me, that is the main aim. And a lot of people will get agitated, the Muslim leadership will get agitated, the issue will be controversial, and it will be benefiting the ruling party. So, according to me, this is the main agenda, or this is the main purpose of this call for opinions.
So, are you sad to see that how our political institution is being used for political gain?
I'm very sad. I'm very sad because then women's rights are not looked upon properly. The earlier 21st Law Commission has spent a lot of time, taken opinions of a lot of people, NGOs, etc. Brought out a very comprehensive report in August 2018. After that, the government has not done a single thing to implement any of the suggestions. And suddenly now they say, now we want to take a fresh look. On what basis this is being done? On what basis this is happening?
So, madam, could you please tell us, maybe that there may be many other people who may not know it. What are the main concerns? What are the main issues regarding giving equality to women that must be implemented? Laws regarding that should be made, but government is not serious about it. Although it says that we are for Beti Bachao and we are for protecting the rights of women.
Now here in the 2000 in the 21st Law Commission, it concentrated on economic rights. It concentrated on two things. One is non-discrimination. Wherever discrimination is there in different personal laws, that should be weeded out. Number one. Secondly, it concentrated on economic rights. And when it comes to economic rights, the main issue here was the HUF property, Hindu undivided family property. Because they say this is not only discriminatory towards women, but it is also used for tax evasion and only by Hindus. And such a thing should not be allowed to happen. So, the main concern of the 21st Law Commission was that HUF property should be scrapped and the tax benefits to Hindus should be taken out. Similarly, it also suggested a codification of Muslim law regarding property rights. The difference between Sunnis and Shias should not be there. Women and widows should get, even a childless widow should get a right to property. There are a lot of these kind of suggestions regarding Christians, regarding Parsis. Regarding Parsis, if you marry outside, if a woman marries outside the Parsi community, she loses the rights. So the recommendation was this should not happen. Similarly, among the Christians, whatever discrimination regarding widows, regarding inheritance of property, etc., is there, that should go. So there were lots of these, even under Special Marriage Act. Whatever discrimination is there, that should be taken out. So this has been very important. Second important thing, what we don't have is to division of matrimonial property upon divorce. We don't have this in any law. And it's strongly recommended that if you must introduce no fault divorce or irritable breakdown of marriage, but when it comes there, it should be equal division of property acquired after marriage. So these are some of the main features.
So why governments are not showing any seriousness?
According to me, Uniform Civil Code is a bogey. It has to be used and whipped up now and then when there is a political need. But
So
otherwise,
you,
government is not interested at all.
so whatever I have understood from your statement is that when it comes to the real issues of the women, and when it comes to giving equality, bringing about just laws, democratizing society, government is not interested. It is only interested in polarizing people on the basis of, let's say, raking up the issues of uniform civil code. Am I right?
Yes, you are absolutely right because I agree with this. That government is not interested. Otherwise, small recommendations from that 21st Law Commission report about reform in family law, they would have definitely brought it out. Why they're not bringing? I don't understand.
Madam, I have also done my PhD on this similar topic, and my experience is that even a PhD holder and an expert, eminent scholar like you, if you speak on TV or if you speak with anybody, we are being presented as if that we are protecting Muslim leadership, particularly religious leaderships, and we are not for the justice of women. So this is the charge against, let's say, secular and democratic people. On the other hand, the reality, what you have said, that government is itself not interested. So why even the media, why they are not telling the people the right thing?
Media also likes controversies. Media also likes Muslim bashing. So you only want a project that Muslims are opposing and not other people. Other people are welcoming. That is not true at all. All communities are opposing. If you touch the HUF issue, the whole entire Hindu community will be against it. But these are not highlighted, these are not touched also. It's only Muslim polygamy and triple talaq, maintenance of Muslim, divorced Muslim wife. These are the issues that are being highlighted and thereby creating the controversy. There are many issues that are there which don't come within the realm of Hindu Muslim. So at least the government can change that and bring in certain level of equality. How out of the blue you will have a uniform civil code? How is it possible?
Uniform civil code is presented as if that once it is introduced, once it is imposed, then what will happen, all the problems regarding the Muslims community will be over, and then India will become a developed country, a progressive country. But some people also argue that uniform civil code is not against the Muslims community, but it also goes against the customary laws of the Adivasis, and also people living in the northeast, and also it can also affect Hindu community. Can you give some more detail on this topic, that it is not related to Muslims only?
Hello. Yeah, I agree. I was also coming to that. Uh, all the tribal communities have their own laws. Some are pro women, some are not pro women, but they have local councils, and these councils will determine what will apply to them and what will not apply to them. Now, in today's paper, I think there's a report that all tribal communities are opposing this, and they are saying they don't touch us. As it is, there is so much unrest in Manipur. Now, Mizoram has come out with saying that we are bringing a uniform civil code. Please spare us. Don't bring it into our state. So there are such. Firstly, Constitution protects tribal communities under Article 371. Then, Schedule 6 of the Constitution especially protects tribal communities and their land rights. Now, in a situation of such diverse tribal customs and practices, customary law, which are very vibrant and which are followed, how are you going to overturn that with a uniform civil code brought in with a particular mindset of the Hindu? It will be impossible.
Madam, uniform civil code is justified by citing constitutions, that it is given in the part fourth of, let's say, Indian Constitution. But fundamental rights also talk about religious freedom, and also minority communities to practice their religion. So sometimes it may also create, what should I say, constitutional problem as well. So how to deal with that situation? Because sometimes the right winger people can come with the argument that okay, it is there in the constitution, in the directive principle, if government is implementing, why there should be any opposition from any quarter?
But right to practice one's religion and customary law is a fundamental right, and this is directive principle of state policy. So this is more important, and you cannot just trample over people's customary practices and impose a uniform civil code. India is a diverse country. India is a pluralistic country. India, even Hindu law is not uniformly applicable. Hindu law has ample provisions for customary practices. There are so many exceptions in the Hindu law. Secondly, even the personal laws come into the uh, third part of the constitution, where state and center both can legislate in the legislative list, in the concurrent list. So now, when you have these, even IPC and CRPC are not uniformly practiced. Every state has made its own amendment. So, how can you have a uniform civil code which is brought in by the center and which will be thrust upon the states? According to me, that nobody has attempted it, and that is not possible. It's
So
not
you are
just a Muslim issue.
So you are saying that it is not against the Muslim community, but it is also affecting our federal structure as well.
Yes, absolutely. And for the constitution protection given to tribal communities, it is going to affect them.
Madam, a false impression is being created that Muslim is given personal laws. There is a concession given by, let's say, Nehruvian and Congress government. On the other hand, Hindus do not have personal laws, or if they have any personal law, it is very egalitarian, and Muslims' personal law is against women, against constitutions. So, how do you respond to such propaganda?
You can only respond to it by uh, bringing out facts. but nobody is interested in listening to the facts. I have written, as you had already mentioned, reams and reams on this issue. I've also got a book where entire chapter is dedicated to this issue of uniform civil code and constitutional safeguards. So it is not just a question of protecting the Muslims. It is understanding it in its entirety, and that is why I say I'm not for Muslims against the rights of women. It's misunderstood that I am for the Muslim leadership against Muslim women. I'm for women's rights everywhere, and including in the Muslim community. So it's not that I am giving leeway to Hindu Muslim leadership, but looking at Hindu law and looking at the concessions made under the Hindu law, though it is supposed to be uniform, and that it is not uniform, and state-wise there are many amendments that are conceding to the customary practices and local practices. So, in this connection, how can you think it's only against the Muslims? This is not possible.
Madam, during my research, I also came across some newspaper clippings where the Sikh community were demanding that they should be allowed to have their own personal laws, apart from that Hindu personal laws, because they are somehow forced to be part of the Hindu personal law. So this fact is also not talked about, that Hindu personal law has become such a big umbrella term where other communities like Sikhs and the Jains and the Buddhists, who have their own history, they have their own separate religion, but they are also forcefully called Hindu, or they are also governed through Hindu personal law. So why they should not be allowed to have their separate personal laws, and why such issues never become news?
Now we have to look at this stage about gender justice. Now, who wants what law for what purpose? That is what we need to look at. And as the 21st Law Commission has very clearly brought out, we have to look at discrimination. So, supposing the Sikh community wants a particular law, and that law is to deny Sikh women their property rights, then that cannot be allowed because that is against the constitution. So, this is clearly discrimination. They wanted to bring the separate law because to disinherit women and their right to property. So that's why that bill got defeated, and they could not have it. So now you have to see tomorrow Buddhist community or Jain community or some other community says that we want a separate law so that women do not have property rights. So that is unconstitutional. So we have to, according to me, the 21st Law Commission very beautifully looked at every issue, and they examined where there is gender discrimination or discrimination against women, where there is no equality between men and women, and accordingly they made suggestions. For instance, about age of marriage. Uniformly, they declared that 18 should be age of marriage for every community. Girls and boys uniform, which I don't personally agree, but this commission had brought this out clearly that there should not be no discrimination. So, like that, in every aspect, regarding division of matrimonial property, regarding all issues of inheritance, wherever there is discrimination, the Law Commission recommended a change and to bringing in equality. So that should be the purpose. It's not a question of whether Sikh community wants, a Jain community wants, a Buddhist community wants, but what do they want? Do they want to give more rights to women or less rights to women? We need to examine that part of it. And
But
if there are already rights under Hindu law, and you're bringing in a law to discriminate against women, that cannot be allowed. I will not
but
support such a thing.
but Sikh community or Jain community, do they not have right to underscore their own separate, let's say, community identity?
Now they have been practicing it for several years. Since 1955, they are under the Hindu law. So now, after so many years, now they're saying that we want to go back, and instead of moving towards uniformity, they want to go into diversity. So, according to me, that suddenly bringing it that in would not be feasible at this hour. And of course, we have to respect diversity. We have to respect different customs which people have been followed. But if they have not been followed, suddenly to introduce now that we want to follow our own law, but that other law, their own law, what do we mean by our own customary tradition and law? Who it gives rights and who it does not give rights, who it deprives their rights? That is the important question to ask, according to me. It's not
So
merely a question of identity.
sometime this question has also bothered me, that when it comes to women rights and community rights, and if both both of them, if suppose if both of them clash, then as a progressive persons, how that person should deal with the situations when community rights and gender rights they clash? Because
According to me,
you might have also faced such situation.
yeah, according to me, gender rights becomes important. Uh, so it has happened in the Muslim law also. Triple talaq, maintenance of divorced wives, so many such issues have come. But discrimination against women is all pervasive. So we have to concentrate that, even if it is going against the community, I would suggest.
Madam, we have also seen Sahabano era also, and my research has also shown me that earlier BJP and Johnson, they were not in support of uniform civil code. I think there is also a statement of Golwalkar also in 1972 in organizer, when he was asked that, do you support uniform civil code? He said, no, 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 we don't need it. But after 80s Sahabano case, they picked up this issue, and in every manifesto they promised that once they came to power, they will implement uniform civil code. And we have also seen how after 2016, the debate, the controversy around triple talaq happened, and how BJP claimed that it stood with the rights of the Muslim women, while the secular parties, they supported the Muslim leadership, the male religious Muslim leadership. So BJP is more progressive. But I have also seen reports that although triple talaq has been uh, undone, it has been called a, what should I say, an offense, a crime. But as far as concrete help to Muslims women has not been done by this government. No financial security has been given, nothing has been done, and even the divorce has been criminalized. I think it is not happening in other religious community also, that if you give divorce to somebody, you will be jailed. But such exception is there among the Muslims community. So how do you look at the BJP has done something very progressive by doing away with, let's say, triple talaq, or by criminalizing the act of divorce, and bringing imprisonment for Muslims men? It has further victimized the community. Which argument is more, what should we say, uh, appropriate?
I think it is victimized the community. Simple. Because the issue was, after the Supreme Court decision and after the law that came, there was no need to criminalize it. But by criminalizing it, you are harming the women also. Because, because once the man goes to jail, he's not in a position to support his wife. So it is anti-women also. It's not just anti-Muslim men, but it also harms the Muslim women. So it was not a good move at all. It is anti-community move, and
Achha,
it's not pro-women.
okay. And what is your positions on traditional leadership of All India Muslim Personal Law Board saying that it is our internal matter, and somehow by giving logic from here and there, they have defended triple talaq? So can we say that by not removing the provision of triple talaq earlier, let's say the Muslims community or secular governments has given an issue to, let's say, the BJP, the Hindu right?
I agree with that totally, because they could have done this much earlier without the court interfering and looking at it, etc. And there was a demand from Muslim women themselves before the board, saying that please amend, issue. I mean, you still say this is not as per Quran, this is not valid, etc. But you have not given a declaration to this effect, and that has caused the community a lot of harm. And given the scope for BJP to take this issue, saying that Muslim leadership is regressive, and we need to step in here to protect the Muslim women.
Madam, sometime the Muslim leadership, particularly those from personal laws, they keep reiterating this fact that Muslim personal law is based on Sharia, it is divine, it cannot be changed. But as a student of, let's say, social sciences and law, we know that these laws have been mediated through Anglo-Mohammedan laws. So, how do you respond to their adamant positions that nothing can be changed because it is divine?
See, now what has happened is, after the Supreme Court intervened and Muslim Personal Law Board members were there present, so they have considered the authority of the Supreme Court to look at it and intervene. So now what they say is not so important, because after the law came, after the Supreme Court decision regarding this scheme, which held that it is not valid, it's invalid, that supersedes the Personal Law Board ka decision. So, and since the law board have members were there intervening in this, I think it is a very positive sign that they accepted the court authority, and once the court decision is there, they accepted the decision as well. So they did not have any agitation regarding that. So now what the position is that any issue can go to Supreme Court, and Supreme Court can decide on that. So it's not that position that you are saying, that Muslim law is divine and cannot be changed and cannot be touched, doesn't hold anymore. And not only that, there are so many changes that have come, which are according to local practices, community practices, etc. And they are valid. So you cannot say that Muslim law cannot be changed, or Hindu law is divine, or Muslim law is divine, or Christian law is divine. So that argument does not hold at all.
So I would like to get your concluding remarks. Again, we go back to the first question. The Law Commission has said that please send your views about Uniform Civil Code. It has created again controversy. Again, the media is writing stories against the Muslims community. Everything is there. We know it. Polarization is happening. So, as a person who has seen, who has studied, who has fought, what is your suggestions for the leadership, for people of India, how we should deal with these situations at this moment? Your concluding remarks, madam.
According to me, this issue was decided by the 21st Law Commission. Now the 22nd Law Commission again is asking. And asking for what? Asking whether the opinion, whether you want a uniform civil code, or you do not want a uniform civil code. Now, what the civil code contains, we have no idea. They also have no idea. So they also still work on that. It's a very complicated issue. Now, apart leaving aside the uniform civil code demand, you look at the 21st Law Commission report and see the issues that were highlighted. Now, these are of urgency, and you can look at them and you can bring in the changes to bring in gender equality, gender justice. What is your aim? Uniformity or gender justice? That we have to be very clear. And if it is gender justice, then you go back to 21st Law Commission report and see where all changes can happen. According to me, that should be the concern, and not just the BJP rhetoric that we need one law, one nation, one law. That is not what is relevant today.
Madam, you have talked to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.